You ever feel like you're playing a game you didn't even know you signed up for? That's what it's like dealing with someone who thinks the whole world revolves around them. They're the star, the director, the audience, and you're just the understudy, the prop, the extra that doesn't even get a name in the credits. You see, it's like a little game they play. A performance, a carefully crafted act, where they're always the lead. The narcissist isn't just walking through life, they're orchestrating it. And they want you to believe you're just an audience member, watching from the sidelines, applauding at the right moments, but never daring to challenge the show. They've got this persona, this shiny mask that they've perfected over time. It's so convincing, so polished, that even the most intelligent among us might start doubting their own perceptions. Maybe I'm the one who's wrong. Maybe I misunderstood. And that's exactly what they want. To make you second guess yourself, to make you feel crazy for questioning the narrative they've written. But let's take a step back. How do they do it? How do they get away with this illusion for so long? It's all about patterns. It's never about one big event. Oh no, that would be too obvious. You're far too clever for that. Narcissists work in cycles. They set the stage, and then they act out their scenes. There's a consistent ebb and flow to their behavior, push and pull, love bombing and devaluation, charm and manipulation. It's a dance that they've mastered over the years, and if you're not careful, you'll find yourself caught in it without even realizing how it happened. You see, in the beginning, it's all sweetness and light. They shower you with affection, admiration, and attention. They make you feel like you're the most important person in the room, like you're the only one who truly understands them, the words they use. So sweet, so convincing, that promise you the moon and stars, make you believe that they're the one who's been sent into your life to change everything for the better. But don't get too comfortable, because soon enough the tide will turn. That's when the mask starts slipping. You'll start noticing little things, tiny cracks in the facade. The compliments are followed by digs. The praise is counterbalanced with belittling remarks. They'll twist everything you say, make you feel like you're never doing enough, like you're always falling short. And that's the trick. You think it's your fault. You think maybe I didn't do this right, or maybe I misunderstood what they meant. But no, that's the pattern at work. They start with the highs to reel you in, and then when they've got you hooked, they lower the bar so they can maintain control. Because for them, it's never about equality. It's never about genuine connection. It's about power. It's about manipulating the narrative so they can be the one who's always in charge. You, on the other hand, you're just a pawn in their game. The problem is, when you don't recognize these patterns, you fall into the trap. You think the cycle will end, that they'll come around, that they'll stop with the mind games. But it never stops. They get more subtle with it, more calculating. You start doubting yourself. You begin wondering if you're just being paranoid or overthinking things. And that's what they want. They want you to question your reality, because that's the only way they can maintain their grip. They don't need you to agree with them. They need you to be confused. They need you to lose your sense of self so that you become more dependent on their validation. It's a power play. It's all about control. And once you recognize that, you begin to see the pattern for what it is, a tactic. The narcissist isn't just reacting, they're performing, controlling the situation with every word, every glance, every action. But the real kicker, they never take responsibility for their actions. No. They'll make sure the blame always falls on you. They'll twist everything around, making it seem like you're the problem. And you, poor soul, will be left picking up the pieces, trying to figure out where you went wrong, when the whole time it was their game all along. The key here is understanding these patterns, recognizing them before you get pulled too deep into the web they've spun. It's about seeing the smoke and mirrors for what they are. They might be skilled manipulators, but they're still playing the same game over and over again. And once you can see the moves they're making, once you can spot the signs, it's a lot easier to protect yourself from the damage they can cause. So, take a step back. Don't let the charm fool you. Don't let the flattering words make you forget who they really are. Pay attention to the patterns. Watch for the push and pull, the manipulation masked as love, the control disguised as care. The more you understand how they operate, the better prepared you'll be to deal with it. And trust me, you don't want to be the one who's left in the dust when the show ends. Because when the mask slips completely, you'll see the truth. You were never part of their show. You were just an extra. Oh, you think you've got it all figured out? Ha. You think you can call them out, expose them for the world to see? Think again. See, that's where the real trick lies. You might feel the need to stand up, wave your little flag and shout, look at who they really are, but what's that going to do for you? Is it going to change them? Make them see the light? Oh, they're not interested in seeing the truth. They never were. The narcissist isn't waiting for the revelation. They're not sitting there with a light bulb over their head, waiting for the truth to smack them in the face. No, they're too busy making sure they stay at the top, making sure they keep you in line, making sure you stay in their little puppeteer game. And you, poor thing, you're just standing there with your little accusations, thinking that's going to make a difference. But all it does is feed them. Every time you lash out, every time you try to expose them, you're doing exactly what they want. You're dancing on their terms, playing the part they've already assigned you in their little show. And guess what? You're not going to win. Not that way anyway. The trick isn't in calling them out. No, you don't play their game by the rules. Because when you do that, you're just feeding their ego, feeding their need to be seen, to be heard, to be the center of attention. They love it. They thrive off it. Every time you try to expose them, they just turn it into another performance, another act in their drama, where they can come out as the victim, the misunderstood hero, the one who was wronged by you. You think they'll back down, that they'll shrink and confess? Not a chance. You're playing a losing hand if you think that's what will happen. You're giving them the power by reacting, by getting drawn into their manipulations. The more you try to confront them, the more they'll make sure to twist the situation, throw the blame onto you, and leave you looking like the crazy one. And they'll sit there all calm and collected, watching you unravel, enjoying the show. So what's the play here? You want to handle a narcissist. You want to deal with them without falling into their trap. Well, you've got to stop reacting. You've got to stop playing into the drama. You want to win this. Here's the real secret: stop calling them out. Instead, you step back, observe, watch. The narcissist thrives on control, on keeping the spotlight on themselves, on making you believe you need them, on making you question your every move. The moment you stop engaging with their madness, the moment you stop reacting to their chaos, you've already got the upper hand. They can't function if they're not the center of attention, if they don't have you reacting, whether it's positive or negative. You have to deny them the very thing they crave the most: validation. And how do you do that? You don't need to shout their flaws to the world. You don't need to tell everyone how they've hurt you. No, that's exactly what they want. They want the drama. They want the fight. They want the chaos. But when you stop participating, when you pull away, when you stop being their audience, that's when they start to lose their grip. Imagine it, you're not playing their game anymore. You stop engaging, stop reacting, stop letting them pull your strings. And at first they'll fight it. They'll try to reel you back in. They'll make you feel guilty for not paying attention to them, for not giving the attention they think they deserve. But you've seen the pattern. You know how this works. You've got the key to the whole game now. And guess what? The game starts falling apart without you. They're left trying to manipulate the air around them. But it doesn't work without an audience. They'll try to paint you as cold, distant, and uncaring. But you know better. You know the truth. They can't keep the mask up forever, and when the performance falls apart, they're the ones left exposed. They'll scramble, they'll twist the facts, they'll scream louder, but you know the trick, they can't maintain their act without you. They're a house of cards, and all it takes is for you to stop playing their game, to stop feeding their lies, to stop reacting to the chaos they create. They're not going to admit they're wrong. Oh no, but here's the thing, you don't need them to. You don't need to expose them. They'll expose themselves, and you'll be the one who stands unaffected, unscathed, watching from the sidelines while their world unravels. So you want to handle the narcissist. Don't call them out. Don't play into their little act. Just stop reacting. And watch how quickly the game falls apart without you in it. You think they can't get to you, huh? You think their little games, their manipulations, their constant gaslighting won't have an effect on you. Oh, how cute. How naive. Because here's the truth, every time you let them get under your skin, every time you try to prove yourself to them, you're giving them a piece of your soul. You're feeding their insatiable need to control, to dominate, to make you bend to their will. And do you know what happens when you do that? They get stronger, you get weaker. And suddenly you're stuck in this twisted dance, moving to their rhythm, playing by their rules without even realizing how deep you've fallen into their trap. The narcissist doesn't care about your feelings. They don't care about your struggles. They care about power. They care about control. And the moment you start to give them your energy, they start taking. They suck it out of you bit by bit until you're left wondering who you even are anymore. You're not you anymore, you're what they need you to be. And once they've got you there, once they've got you questioning your worth, questioning your sanity, that's when the real damage begins. It's slow, it's subtle, and you don't even see it coming. But it's happening. Oh, it's happening. You see, the narcissist thrives off your reactions. They love to provoke you, to push your buttons, to make you feel something, anything. It doesn't matter if it's anger, sadness, guilt, or confusion. As long as you're reacting, as long as they've got you in their grip, they're winning. And the worst part, you don't even realize you're the one giving them all the power. Every time you try to defend yourself, every time you try to explain your side, you're just feeding into their narrative. You're playing into their hands. They've got you in their little puppet show, and they're pulling all the strings. But here's the thing, you don't have to react. That's the real power move, isn't it? You don't have to play the game anymore. You don't have to let them control you. Because once you stop reacting, once you stop giving them what they want, they lose their grip. You see, narcissists can't exist without an audience. They need someone to admire them, to feed their ego, to make them feel like they're on top of the world. But if you stop reacting, if you stop giving them the validation they crave, suddenly they've got no one left to impress. And that's when the cracks start showing. That's when the mask starts slipping. That's when the true narcissist starts to reveal themselves for who they really are. But here's the catch. The moment you stop reacting, the moment you take control of your own emotions, you're not just changing the game for them, you're changing it for yourself. Because the more you focus on your own feelings, your own growth, your own well-being, the less room they have to manipulate you. They can no longer use your emotions against you. They can no longer twist your words and actions, your thoughts. And that, my friend, is freedom. It's not about fighting them. It's not about proving them wrong. It's about letting go of the need to be validated by someone who will never see you for who you truly are. It's about stopping the cycle, about cutting the strings they've been holding you by. Now you might be thinking, but they're so good at making me feel like I'm the problem. They twist everything I say, everything I do. They make me feel crazy. Well, guess what? That's part of their act. It's part of the show. They want you to feel like you're the one who's losing it, like you're the one who's unhinged. But here's the secret, you don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. You don't need to prove anything to someone who will never be satisfied with who you are. The more you chase their approval, the more they'll keep you in that vicious cycle. It's a never-ending loop of disappointment, frustration, and self-doubt. And as long as you stay in it, they win. But when you step out of that loop, when you stop chasing after their acceptance, that's when they start losing. They have nothing left to take from you. But you can't stop reacting just once and expect it all to go away. No, no, no. This is a process, a long, slow process. But each time you stop yourself from getting pulled in, each time you refuse to engage, you're taking back a little piece of yourself. You're taking back your power, your confidence, your sanity. And the narcissist, they're left scrambling, trying to figure out how to regain control. They'll try different tactics, guilt, anger, pity, but none of it will work. Not anymore. Because you know the truth now, you know what they're really doing. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you stop reacting, you've already won. Oh, so you think you're the only one struggling. You think that everything falls on your shoulders, that the weight of the world is yours to carry. Cute. But here's the thing, that's exactly how they want you to feel. The narcissist loves it when you think that their world, their drama, their problems, are somehow your responsibility. They get off on it. It gives them a sense of power. They manipulate you into believing that you are the one who has to pick up the pieces, the one who has to make everything okay. You poor soul are just another piece in their game. They can't even see you for who you are because they're too busy looking at the reflection of their own needs. You are nothing more than a pawn to them, a tool they can use to make themselves feel better about their own emptiness. And guess what? It works. Every time. It's funny, really, isn't it? They come into your life, making it life maker, offering something to you. They throw you a bone, give you some validation, some attention, and you think you've struck gold. You think this is the relationship of the century, the one you've been waiting for. But oh my friend, this is just the opening act, the bait. The moment they get their claws in you, they start tightening the grip. You can't see it at first. You think they're just being supportive, caring, and oh so attentive. But the moment you start needing them in return, the moment you start wanting something back, they flip the switch. It's like a light going off, a sudden change. And now you're the one chasing them, the one trying to meet their demands. They pull back, they withhold, they give you crumbs while they feast on everything you have to offer. And the worst part, you let them. You keep running after them. You keep trying to fill a bottomless pit, thinking that maybe this time they'll notice you, that they'll see you, that they'll validate you. But it's never enough. You'll never be enough. But why do you keep doing it? Why do you keep playing their game? You think that you're going to change them. That somehow, if you give them enough love, enough attention, enough care, they'll realize how wonderful you are and change their ways. Oh honey, that's the biggest lie they've fed you. The narcissist doesn't care about you. They care about what you can give them, how you can feed their ever-hungry ego. They're not interested in your well-being, in your happiness, in your needs. You are nothing but a source of supply to them, a tool to make them feel superior, a reflection of their greatness. They don't see you. They see a mirror and they only care about what that mirror reflects back to them. But you know what? You don't have to keep playing the game. You don't have to keep feeding them. That's the trap, isn't it? You're stuck, thinking you need them to survive, thinking you need their approval to be happy, to be whole. But the reality is much simpler than that. You don't need them. You've been tricked into believing that you do, but the truth is your life, your worth doesn't depend on their validation. It never did. And it's time to wake up and realize that the only person who can change your life, the only person who can give you what you need, is you. You have to stop chasing after their approval. You have to stop running in circles trying to meet their impossible expectations. Because here's the thing, it will never be enough. you'll never reach the end of the maze. You'll keep running, keep hoping that this time they'll finally recognize you. But they won't. Not unless it benefits them. Not unless it feeds their hunger. And when they finally get bored with you, when you've served your purpose, they'll discard you like yesterday's news. And you'll be left wondering what happened. Why wasn't I enough? But the truth is, you were never meant to be enough for them. They were never going to see you as you are because they don't see anyone except themselves. So stop. Stop feeding them. Stop trying to fill the hole in their soul. You're not their savior. You're not the answer to their problems. And guess what? You never will be. They've got to fix their own mess. And the moment you realize that, the moment you stop pouring into their void, is the moment you start saving yourself. You stop becoming a tool in their game. Stop giving them the satisfaction of seeing you chase after them. You stop making yourself small for someone who doesn't even care to notice your existence. And the funny thing, they'll notice when you stop playing their game. When you stop feeding them, they'll take notice. But this time it won't be for the reasons they want. This time it'll be because you've taken your power back. You've broken free from their manipulation. You've stopped giving them everything you have, and suddenly they don't know what to do with themselves. And that's the real win, isn't it? To take back what's yours. To stop giving your energy to someone who'll never appreciate it. To stop letting them control your life, your emotions, your every move. That's how you win. That's how you take back your life. Ah, the beauty of self-delusion. Isn't it marvelous? The way we convince ourselves that we're helping, that we're doing the right thing when in reality we're just fueling the fire. You think by sticking around, by tolerating their nonsense, by endlessly giving them the benefit of the doubt, you're doing something noble. You're saving them. Well, newsflash, my friend, the only thing you're saving is their ego. And that's the joke. You're the punchline. Oh, how deliciously tragic it is when you realize that the more you give, the less you get. You become the martyr, the one who sacrifices everything for someone who can't even spare you a second thought. And they don't even notice. It's like you're invisible to them. Nothing more than a convenient source of supply. To be drained and discarded when they're done. Isn't that a lovely thought? But wait, hold on, it's not your fault, right? You're just trying to make things work. You're trying to see the good in them. Trying to find that glimmer of hope, that spark of humanity. You want to believe they're worth it. You want to believe that the love you give them will somehow make them whole. So you bend and bend and bend some more until you're almost flat on the floor, and yet they don't see it. They don't care. You've given everything and received nothing, but they've still got their grip on you. You're like a dog chasing a bone that's always just out of reach. It's pathetic, isn't it? How easy it is to get caught up in this cycle thinking that you can somehow fix them, that you're the one who can make them see the light. But they're not looking for light. They're looking for control. They want you to burn yourself out for them, to bend to their will, to sacrifice your happiness for their comfort. It's a game and you're losing. So what do you do now? Do you keep playing their game? Do you keep dancing to their tune, letting them pull the strings and twist your mind until you don't even know who you are anymore? That's what they want. They want you lost in the fog of confusion, trying to decipher their mixed signals, trying to find meaning in their empty promises. They love it when you're desperate for answers, when you're begging them to show you affection, to show you that they care. And guess what? They'll give you crumbs. They'll give you just enough to keep you hooked, to keep you coming back for more. But it's all an illusion. They'll never truly see you. They'll never truly value you. Not in the way you want. And you'll keep chasing, hoping for a different outcome, but all you're doing is sinking deeper into their trap. The real tragedy here, the real comedy, you're the one who lets it happen. You're the one who keeps hoping, who keeps giving, who keeps trying to prove that you're worthy of their attention. You think if you just do this one thing, if you just say this one word, if you just act a little bit differently, you'll finally get the recognition you crave. You think maybe, just maybe, this time they'll notice you, this time they'll acknowledge your effort. But it's a joke. They're not capable of seeing you for who you truly are. They don't care about your worth. They only care about what they can take. You could give them everything, every ounce of your energy, and they'd still look at you like you're disposable. They might smile, they might nod, but in their eyes you're nothing more than a means to an end. And there's the cruel irony: the more you give, the less they care. The more you sacrifice, the more they demand. It's like a twisted game of who can endure the most. And guess what? You're losing. You're losing because you think you need them. You think that without them, your life is empty. You think you need their approval, their affection, their acknowledgement to feel whole. But that's the trap. That's the illusion. You've convinced yourself that you need them to survive, but you don't. You never did. You're just addicted to the validation. The idea that someone sees you, that someone cares. But that's not love, is it? That's control. That's manipulation. And the longer you stay in it, the more you lose yourself. You become a shell of who you used to be, a shadow of the person you were meant to be. So what do? You stop. You stop feeding into their need for control. You stop playing the game. You stop bending over backward to meet their demands. And you know what happens when you do that? They panic, they freak out, because now suddenly they have no one to manipulate, no one to play their game with. And they don't know how to deal with it. They'll try to pull you back in. They'll make you feel guilty, like you're abandoning them, like you're somehow the one who's in the wrong. But that's just another trick. That's just another way to get you to bend. Don't fall for it. Take back your life. Take back your power. Stop giving everything to someone who will never see you as enough. Stop wasting your time, your energy, your soul on someone who only cares about themselves. You deserve more. You deserve respect. You deserve love. And you'll never find it by continuing to pour yourself into someone who's only interested in draining you dry. So stop. Stop playing their game. Stop giving them the control. And start living for yourself. You know, the funny thing about people like this, those narcissistic souls who think they own the world and everyone in it, is how they always expect you to play their game. They've mastered it, haven't they? They've found the trick, the perfect illusion that makes you think you're the one who's in control. And you, poor fool, you're so caught up in it that you don't even realize you've been set up. They've got you in their pocket, and they know it. But hey, they don't have to worry. They don't have to think twice about it, because they're so good at what they do. They're so good at twisting your mind, making you doubt your own reality. They've got you convinced that if you don't jump through their hoops, if you don't play along with their absurd little game, you're the one who's wrong. It's also beautifully manipulative, isn't it? The way they get into your head, the way they hand you into their puppet. It's sickening. It's absurd, and yet you're still there. You're still hanging on. They've got you exactly where they want you. But here's the thing. The more you let them control you, the more they get to mold you into whatever shape they desire. You become this hollow version of yourself, constantly twisting and turning to meet their every whim. And what do you get in return? Nothing. Not a single thing. You give and give, but they never care. They don't need you for who you are, they need you for what you can do for them. And if you ever stop doing it, if you ever dare to break free, they'll do everything in their power to drag you back into their little circus act. They'll play the victim, make you feel guilty, make you think that somehow you've done something wrong by not giving them everything they demand. And the worst part, they'll be so convincing, so charming in their manipulation, that you'll doubt yourself. You'll wonder if maybe, just maybe, you're the one who's to blame. You see, this is what they want. They want to make you question your own worth. They want you to feel small, insignificant, and worthless, so that when you try to break free, You'll think that you don't deserve any better. They'll have you believing that the only way to survive is by staying in their twisted little world. And you'll cling to that. You'll keep feeding into their lies, thinking that somehow, some way, if you just try harder, things will get better. But it won't. It never will. Because they're never satisfied. Nothing you do will ever be enough for them. And that's the most infuriating thing about it. You could give them everything, your time, your energy, your heart, and they'll still look at you like you're nothing. They'll take it all, and they'll want more. And when you got nothing left to give, they'll just move on to the next person, and you'll be left wondering where it all went wrong. But the real kicker, the absolute laughable part of this whole thing is that they'll never change. They'll never see the error of their ways. They'll never wake up one day and realize how much damage they've done. Because for them, there's no such thing as accountability. There's only their desires, their needs, their wants. And they'll use you until you're completely drained, until you're nothing more than a shell of who you once were. Then when you've given everything and there's nothing left, they'll toss you aside like an old toy, ready to move on to their next victim. It's all part of the game. It's all part of the plan, and they play it so well. But that's not you anymore, is it? No, it doesn't have to be. You don't have to keep playing their game. You don't have to keep feeding into their ego, letting them control your every move, dictate your worth, or make you feel like you're constantly falling short. Because guess what? You're not. You never were. It was all a lie. It was all part of their grand performance. A show they put on just to make you believe that you're nothing without them. But the truth is, you're better off without them. You've been fooled for too long. You've been a character in their drama, playing a part that you were never meant to play. And now it's time to step off the stage. You're not here to serve their needs, to be their emotional punching bag, or to fulfill their endless demands. You're not here to make them feel important or to feed their inflated sense of self-worth. You're here for you. You're here to live your life, to be your own person, to walk your own path. And the moment you stop letting them control you, the moment you stop seeking their approval, is the moment you start reclaiming your life. It's hard, it's messy, but it's worth it, because the longer you stay in their grip, the more you lose yourself. And once you lose yourself, that's when they've won. So don't let them win. Don't let them take another second of your time, another moment of your energy. You deserve better. You deserve to be seen for who you are, not for what you can do for someone else. And remember, the moment you start focusing on yourself, the moment you stop letting them dictate your worth, that's when you'll see their true colors. That's when you'll realize just how little they actually care about you. And when that moment comes, when you finally open your eyes and see them for what they truly are, you realize that you've been free all along. I know what you're thinking. You think, why do I have to deal with these narcissists? Why do I have to tolerate their games, their antics, their endless drama? It's exhausting, isn't it? All these lies, all this manipulation, they'll make you feel like you're the crazy one, the unreasonable one for wanting something simple like respect, love, or maybe just a little peace. It's like they take everything and leave you with nothing but your own confusion. But that's how they get to you. It's all smoke and mirrors, a big twisted show, and you, my friend, are just another pawn in their twisted little game. And the worst part is, you don't even realize it at first. They've got you convinced that everything is fine. They've got you playing their game, wearing their mask, making you think you're the one at fault. But here's the trick. They don't ever care about you. They never have. You're just a tool, prop they use to make themselves feel better. That's it. That's all. They don't care about your happiness. They don't care about your well-being. All they care about is themselves, their own needs, their own desires. They'll say whatever they need to say, do whatever they need to do to keep you around, to make sure you stay in their life so they can drain you dry. Because let's face it, that's what they do. They feed off of your energy. They feed off your attention. They feed off your love and your validation. And the moment you stop giving them that, the moment you stop giving them what they want, that's when they turn on you. That's when they flip the script and make you the villain. They'll twist everything, turn it all upside down, and suddenly you're the bad guy. You're the one who's wrong for not playing their game. But you see, you don't have to play it anymore. You don't have to keep falling for their tricks, their lies, their emotional blackmail. You don't owe them anything. You've been stuck in their circus for so long, thinking that this is normal, that this is how relationships work. But it's not. It's just manipulation disguised as affection. It's control wrapped in a pretty package. And it's all designed to keep you dependent on them. And you know what? You've had enough. You're not going to keep letting them control your life, control your thoughts, control your emotions. You've got to stop letting them pull your strings. Stop letting them manipulate your every move. Because here's the thing, you're not some puppet. You're not some plaything for their amusement. And the more you realize that, the more power you'll have over your own life. The more you realize that you've been living in their twisted little world, the more you'll understand that it's time to step out of it. They'll try to convince you that you can't live without them, that you need them, that you're nothing without them. And it's all a lie. It's all a trap, because deep down you know that you don't need them. You know that you're better than this. You know that you deserve better, but here's the thing, you have to believe it. You have to stop doubting yourself. You have to stop letting them make you feel small, insignificant, like you're nothing without them. Because that's their game, their trick. They make you believe you need them, so you'll keep coming back for more, so you'll keep feeding into their ego. But you're stronger than that. You're smarter than that. You don't need them. You never did. So stop letting them tear you down. Stop letting them tell you what you can and can't do. Stop letting them tell you what you should and shouldn't feel. Stop letting them make you believe that you're not worthy of love, of respect, of happiness. Because you are. And it's time you started believing it too. It's time to step out of their shadow, step away from their control, and step into your own light. Because the moment you do, you'll see them for what they really are. They're not your savior. They're not the answer to your problems. They're just another part of the problem. And once you stop looking for validation from them, once you stop seeking their approval, once you stop letting them make you feel like you're nothing without them, you'll realize that you've been free all along. You've just been too blind to see it. So stop giving them your time, your energy, your love. Stop giving them the power to control your life. Stop falling for their lies. And when you finally cut that string, when you finally step away, when you finally break free from their grip, that's when you'll realize that you're so much better without them. And when that moment comes, you won't look back. You won't feel guilty. You won't regret it. Because you'll know deep down that this is your life. And no one, not them, not anyone has the right to control it. Not anymore.